Hi everyone, this is Bobby from bn-games.com, and we're doing another classic capture. Today we're doing Darkstalkers, Vampire Savior for the Sega Saturn.
The Return of the Vampire.
This is a fighting game series very much unappreciated here in the States, mostly because Street Fighter outshadowed it, and it's made by the same company, Capcom.
Really?
Yes.
That's. I couldn't figure that out from the Capcom in the beginning. I really needed you to tell me that.
Well, I'm here as a service. I should note that
hey, baby.
It's not exactly a Street Fighter clone, which some people get the impression that it's just a vampiric Street Fighter. I mean, there are definitely some roots in its fighting history that go back to Street Fighter, but it does not play exactly like Street Fighter.
I always loved the art style of this game. I mean, it's the same art style, if that makes any sense, but it's not. Just the gothic feel of it. The flame on top showing who's getting hurt. I love that.
Yeah. There's a few things here that you will have seen in later games. First of all, something that's unique is when a round is over, it does not require everything to reset. Characters actually just remain where they are and you have control. And the second round starts right away. No loading, no waiting, no resetting, no intro animations.
Doesn't Blaze Blue? Yeah, Blaze Blue do that?
I'm not sure. I don't remember. This game also, this came out in the realm of the Marvel vs. series, well, the early ones anyway, and a lot of the animation styles here, especially this character Morgan, you'll have seen her later on in the Marvel vs. Capcom series. It's stylistically very similar to the Alpha series, the Street Fighter Alpha series specifically. We're playing this actually on the Sega Saturn, a import copy. This one's from Japan. You can pick this up in the US. It was released in the US on the Sega Saturn and the PlayStation 1, but those copies run, depends on the condition. You'll be paying anywhere from $20 upwards to $40, depending on what version and condition. And you don't need that, because if you have a 4M cart or something of that nature to play import games, you can just buy the import copy. This one actually was donated by Timmy. I got this one from Timmy. He picked it up from a couple of friends he had in Japan. So this one has crossed the water and was played over there in its heyday.
I'm watching the backgrounds. I think that's the most impressive thing. There's one background in particular that's gonna come up that I like.
Yeah, the characters themselves, the color palette is a little washed out, which I think you're right. The backgrounds really steal the show here as far as the way things look. You'll also notice that unlike the Marvel series, when you commit a special, that it doesn't have really super flashy, over the top animation for
much faster game too.
Well, I should note that I've put the turbo all the way up. This is not actually the way it plays. If you just hit start and then start, just let the character start fighting. I've noted this in other other fighting games we've done here, that if I pick up a fighter and it has a turbo feature, I will turn that turbo feature all the way up. No excuses. So this one's turned up all the way. This is as fast as this game will play, and it's a quick game. I'm still kind of unfamiliar with the controls here. I actually kind of played a few rounds before this to kind of get a feel. And Morgan, in a way, reminds me of Ken and Ryu. In fact, her sister, they kind of play a similar style but different. They're the Ken and the Ryu of the series. And they play kind of similar in many respects, at least in this game. And Morgan would come out later, and like I said, in the Marvel vs. series, and
BB Hood came out in Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
Yeah, I should also note that other Darks,
the Mummy guy came out in Marvel. A couple of them came out in later games.
Yeah,
the Bee Chick came out in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Yeah, I don't even remember.
Yeah.
And this is one game that's been touted from Capcom a lot about them wanting to do. Well, people want a remake after Street Fighter 4 came out. And Mortal Kombat, the fighting community, anyone who really was hardcore for fighters, I should also note Marvel vs. Capcom 3 at this point, they wanted a remake of this game. Maybe even stylistically similar to Super Street Fighter 4.
Or at least an HD remake.
As of this video, yeah. As of this video, who knows? I think an HD remix is much more likely.
The best way
yeah,
to go, too,
oh
I
yeah,
think.
I would prefer that. I would much prefer that. I don't think political version of this would be very good. Well, it might be, but I mean, we said the same thing about Street Fighter. People were worried when they found out it wasn't going to be 2D sprites, but that turned out to be really good. More than really good, but I digress. It's a heavily fan-toted game, and it's this particular copy is pretty old. There hasn't been a well, it came out on the PSP. In fact, you can pick this game up on the PSP, which is not the preferred platform. I don't think Sega Saturn is the best platform for this. The PlayStation 1 version has some fairly long load times. But holds up big time.
What the fuck is wrong with his foot?
Oh well, he's a giant snow monster.
Oh, that explains everything. Therefore, he can dislodge it.
And he's also really hard. I remember playing this part, and he was actually one of the tougher enemies. Like I said, don't have a lot of experience with it. Never owned it before recently. I had played the PSP version, and I had actually played. Well, I played as Morgan in other games. There was also another one. I forget. Well, one of the characters was also in a game called Capcom Fighting Evolution. There was like really obscure characters were selected. It was a really crappy game, to be honest with you. But there was some stuff. These characters have appeared in various games. Well, other than these over the years, but a lot of people don't recognize them. I mean, because they weren't mainstream. It's not Ken Ryu, it's not Guile or Chun-Li.
This is one of the 2 levels that I think.
Yeah.
Although the fetus, I think is still my favorite. Yeah, the giant fetus.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if you included it on this.
No.
Yeah, look up the fetus level.
I know.
That's
In fact, no. This is the last bout.
The giant god fetus, I believe, is what it is.
With like the talking mouth and
It's like, hey, what's going on? Hey, you? Yeah, that's right, you. Hey, baby. Then the conductor's all dead.
I think that's a Civil War conductor. It looks like a Confederate soldier.
It doesn't have to mean anything. They were just like on LSD, and they're like, hey, this would look pretty fucking creepy.
Well,
let's go ahead and do that.
Hey, I don't know. It works.
I'm not complaining. Far from it. I'm saying it looks creepy in a good way.
This actually works because October coming around, Halloween.
Yeah.
Should play something.
I just scared the shit out of myself earlier, but that's something else. I regret clicking links.
Damn, should bounce back to special. Or the energize. This has something called something that you would recognize in later fighting games, the EX attack, where you do 2 punch buttons. One of the main creators of this game actually worked on Street Fighter 3, which I would note is the best Street Fighter game ever. And that's something of note here, because some of the things you see here, some of the options and things, let's say influence, appear later in the title.
Hey, you put that back. Where did all those extra eyes come out of?
Alright everyone, just a quick look. Please subscribe and let us know what you think. Thank you.